So for an absolutely not, that you're really going to appreciate. I absolutely got a DWI for ADDERALL. Not kidding. I was driving. My dog had knocked a bottle underneath my foot, and I was swerving to try to get it before it slid under my brake, and I got pulled over. After they called out 9 cops and made a huge scene, they finally took me to get a blood test. I mean, obviously I didn't have alcohol in my system. It was 10:30 in the morning, and I wasn't drinking. Not that I haven't, but I wasn't. And they pull me over, take me in to get the blood work done, and they give me a DWI for a amount of Adderall that was out of therapeutic range. Bitch, I've been on that shit for 20 years. Of course I have a bunch in my system if I need it to fucking work. I don't even know.
Okay. One, I love that this was anonymous.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is interesting. Shout out to the caller who just let us know she got a DUI for Adderall. Let's break this down. A lot to get into. Now, one, obviously, we would never promote on this show drinking and driving or being under any sort of influence. But I feel like you got bamboozled on this one. I mean, how many mothers out there, how many just women in general are on some sort of methamphetamine to make it through the day? Okay? I think if you were to pull over on the side of the highway and you had a roadblock and started testing people, everybody is on some sort of stimulant. You're telling me a Monster energy drink isn't just as scary as a Vyvanse? Come on. Now, because my sister's a criminal defense attorney, she told me a long time ago, she said, if you ever get pulled over and anything's in your system, you're most likely going to jail. This is not legal advice. She always just told me, you say nothing, call an attorney, you're probably going to jail. But here's my thing. This is where I think this is a little odd. If you really hadn't been drinking, you probably would have blown. Okay? Just hear me out. Like, if you're really like, there's literally nothing in my system, you probably would have blown. So the fact that they still took you to jail and then they did the blood test makes me think you may have been so geeked out on the Adderall, you also forgot that you had a couple Irish coffees on the way to work as well. There's something about this that is not fully adding up, but I also want you to know in a court of law, I would defend you to the nth degree, okay? I have your back, but I also have questions. I mean, dude, you can get, if you're on a Xanax and it's in your system, you can get arrested for anything. This is why Uber and Lyft are always a good idea. You know, I hate to drive, and it's not even because I'm under the influence of anything. I don't like to get behind the wheel. I get nervous. I'm always nervous about everything. I'm anxious Annie these days. So, but that is some bullshit. I mean, the fact that they did a blood test at the jail, they may have had a little suspicion, not just a suspicion, but they may have had, maybe the pupils were a little too dilated. You know, maybe there wasn't a dog in the car. Maybe you said the dog hit the bottle and they're like, ma'am, it's your Chanel purse. You know, I don't know. You may have been so geeked out on whatever you were on that you thought you had a dog and maybe there wasn't one in the car. I want to tell you, again, this is all allegedly, but I would like to be your defense attorney, but I do have follow-up questions. Google, can you get a DWI for Adderall? I mean, you can literally, if there's anything in your system and you're driving recklessly, yes, you could get in trouble for it. Okay, Tina did a quick Google search and you can get a DWI for anything. It says, if you stop, be honest, but don't volunteer information. I mean, I've always been told you say nothing. You don't say anything. They ask you, have you been drinking? You say, absolutely not. I'm on my way to work. But regardless, you don't tell them shit. Here's the thing, you're not gonna win. At the end of the day, you're getting locked up raw regardless, whether it's 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. So the moral of the story is, don't take the prescription drugs until you get to the office and then maybe Uber home. That's mine. My info right there. And how embarrassing is that? You're like, how do you explain that to your boss? I got a DWI because I was on performance-enhancing drugs. You're like, I love my job so much. I'm ready to come. I take my Adderall before I leave the house so that the moment that I clock in and I punch in for work at this marketing agency, I am just filled with energy and zest for writing copy for commercials. Like, if I was your boss, I would be like, wow, you take this seriously. And I would be impressed. So for you, it's a win-win. You might be getting a promotion at work, but you might have to start learning how to ride a bike to get there. So, lessons learned. But just so you know, even if you prescribe something, the devil can still get you. And I think that's a bigger lesson. Because even in your voicemail, you sounded like a little geeked out. And so maybe we need to dial it back on the stimulants and just hit a little ashwagandha. Let's take it down a notch. Glad you're safe, though. Glad the road is safe. And hope your dog exists.